Hi, Brian. So good to see you. Hope you're doing well and you're safe. Welcome to Headspin Corner. Really excited to have you here today and share a little bit about your background and what you do at Headspin and give us some tidbits around what you've been working on. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. And also, while you say that, can you tell us an app or a game that you absolutely love right now?
Hi, Gina. Thanks for having me, and it's really a pleasure to be here talking with you today. So I come from kind of a non-traditional background. My education is in chemical engineering, and I actually completed my PhD in chemical engineering from UC Berkeley. And then I made the transition into data science. And I did that because I found the data so fascinating and topics around data such as experimental design, statistics, programming, all machine learning, all of these things to be, much more interesting and fun than some of the other work that I was exploring. So
Nice.
um, along those lines, one of my favorite apps is called iNaturalist. And this is an app that was published by the scientific community. It's freely available, and it allows basically the community to be a part of the scientific method. And so you can go out and while you're exploring your favorite trail or your favorite park, take photos of wildlife, flora, and fauna, and have the community help you identify those and also contribute to scientific studies that are being done in your area.
Wow.
So it's a tremendous resource both for the community and for the scientific community, and also kind of a fun app to use to learn more about the world around you.
That's awesome. There is an app called World Around You too, by the way.
Okay, I'll
Yeah, it's
look
an
it up.
AR app. So tell us, you spoke about your background and how you moved towards where you are today. What made you come to Headspin?
Yeah, so I had the fortunate opportunity of meeting Brian Colwell, who is the co-founder and CTO, and Brian had a great conversation with me, and we were able to talk about this really interesting project that he had about identifying visual load times in mobile apps. And so, visual load time is such an important KPI to so many of our customers. And I was really excited to work on this project and work on our first sort of user experience issue card, where we identify basically visual loading times using blank screens. So the low page content issue card that we have, as well as the page content time series or entropy time series, are results of that initial project. And I just kept going and kept building out the Headspin performance system.
Thank you so much. And we are very grateful for how the platform has evolved over time as well. Tell us a little bit more of like that evolution. Where are we today with that evolution? What have you seen in terms of strides and some of the cool features that you're working on right now?
Awesome. Yeah, so we've come really long way from when I joined fairly early in the company. So we've added a suite of capture instrumentations. Uh, Initially, we had network capture, kind of HTTP capture, as well as some of the early video screen recordings. Now we have a full suite of network capture and analytics, including PCAP, uh, various instrumentations on the device to capture CPU usage, memory, battery consumption. Uh, Much more developed video analytics, including a whole suite of subjective video quality analytics, uh, kind of the flagship feature being the Headspin video quality MOS.
Mhm.
And, we're continuing to work on developing additional instrumentations to capture additional data in the context of customer sessions, as well as to provide enriched insight into that data.
And how has it been in terms of like customer adoption or like the problems that it's solving for customers? Could you share a bit more about what kind of problems it solves?
Yeah, so I think the customers have had really positive reactions to the data that we provide and the insights that we provide. I think one of the great things about the HeadSpin platform is that we have these real devices on local networks on location. And so it's very easy for customers to access a device, to be able to run tests on these devices, and to know that the data is representative of the data that their customers would see. I think that's a tremendous resource. From a scientific perspective, you have data that actually reflects the use case that you're trying to measure. Um, in addition, we provide a suite of analytics on top of that data. So all of these different insights in terms of what is the visual quality of experience, what does the visual load time look like, what does the network traffic look like, what does the client-side profiling look like, all of that's aligned on a common timeline. And that instrumentation is non-trivial, and it's really thanks to some tremendous engineering work from some of the other engineers on the team that we have this amazing capture capability. Um, so I think customers have been really excited to just see all of the analytics that we provide, almost with no additional interaction. Right?
So you speak about handling large amounts of data and across time, across different networks, devices, customer KPIs, and what they're looking for. How do you account for false positives and other areas that how does the system keep on learning? How do
Mm-hmm.
you account for false positive? And do you come across many? And how
Oh,
do you deal with
yeah,
it?
yeah. So for my team, we work a lot on some of the more sophisticated AI algorithms. And these are algorithms, typically they're addressing problems that are fuzzy problems and very difficult, maybe even difficult for humans to solve. And so, our customers include a really wide variety of industries, telecom, device manufacturers, app developers, and all of these different customers have different needs and different use cases. So we definitely come across false positives with our models, and we provide opportunities for our customers to provide feedback on our models. And we use that feedback actively to help develop these models and curate our data sets internally so that we provide the best estimate of the KPIs that our customers care about. And we continually keep up to date with the industry as it continues to evolve.
What keeps you up at night when it comes to these kind of metrics?
Well, there's always some new app or some new service that comes online and totally just changes the paradigm of video streaming in particular. Uh, like TikTok, for example, has this little TikTok logo that kind of fuzzes in and out and changes colors and stuff. And we have this model that detects these loading animations or buffering regions. So changes like that might lead to false positives in other applications. Um, Mostly because it's something that's completely new, completely out of the data set, and even out of the scope of what the average user would expect to see. Um, it's always kind of fun to see what new things are coming out, and our team has to work really hard to make sure that we continue to adapt and evolve with the pace of industry.
And sounds like we keep ourselves on our toes with our innovation, and our customers or companies out there also keep us on our toes with innovation.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, so, Brian, we've heard a lot about video moss, and you've mentioned it a few times. I have a bunch of acronyms for you. Can you tell us a little bit more about what is video moss? How is it different or better than PEVQ? And how is it also different from VMAF? Curious to know what they stand for. Tell us more about it, and how are they different?
Sure. So the Video Quality Moss is kind of this flagship initiative that we started here at HeadSpin. I suppose it's been about a year and a half ago now. The fundamentally a MOS is a subjective quality score, and MOS actually stands for Mean Opinion Score. And the idea is that if you were to show a video to a pool of real users, and ask them to rate that video, on a scale from very poor to excellent. What would be the average, rating of that pool of users? So our team has worked incredibly hard to develop a suite of video quality analytics that include fully reference-free metrics such as blockiness and blurriness, um, as well as a completely reference-free video quality MOS score. Uh, this is actually the first reference-free video quality MOS on the market. And what makes this different than PEVQ or VMAF, which are other solutions available in the industry, is that those other solutions require reference video. So they require access to the source video and some degraded version of that video. And the way they evaluate the quality score is by comparing the reference video to that degraded version.
Mm.
And so they're looking for these kind of deltas or differences between the degraded version and the reference video, and they map that to these subjective quality scores based on their own user studies. What we've done is we've actually leveraged the power of the data collection capabilities of the HeadSpin platform. We've actually run our own experiments to collect videos from applications that are relevant today across a wide variety of devices and streaming platforms. And we've taken all those videos and curated one of the largest video quality data sets of its kind. In fact, to my knowledge, it's the largest video quality data set of its kind. And what we do is we take that data set and we actually use my real favorite app, which is an app that James and I, James is a data scientist on my team, developed in-house. And we run our own user studies where we show real users the videos that we recorded on our platform, and they evaluate the quality on a scale from very poor to excellent. We show these users many different videos, and we show the videos to many different users. And we developed our own experimentation to be able to curate a high quality data set to map new video content to a predicted score. So when the customer uploads a video to our platform or runs a HeadSpin performance test, we can automatically analyze their video content without knowing what the reference video looks like. Or, in many cases, customers are streaming new content. They're live streaming content. And in that case, these other solutions don't even have a reference video and don't even apply.
I know
So
it sounds. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So, kind of the key advantage here is that we can provide this video quality estimation on a frame by frame basis for video content across a spectrum of content and content providers, and we can do it, within the normal practices of capturing test sessions on the HeadSpin platform.
So I was going to actually add or ask you, it sounds like the HeadSpin platform is able to save time and drive more efficiency. It sounds like for not having to go through the hoop of even looking at a reference video because you've already collected that, you already are aware of what is the right experience or the most optimal video experience, and you're measuring it against that versus having to run real time between something that's benchmarked or degraded.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into curating these source videos and curating the content to compare them against.
Okay,
We kind of get rid of that whole curation loop and allow for much greater automation and, of course, scale.
thanks. Do you also do audio moss and audio visual moss?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We don't currently have audio MOS or audio visual MOS capabilities, but those are definitely on the roadmap and something that we're very much interested in.
Great.
So, yeah.
And are you also able to capture, other form factors like browsers and set-top boxes and consoles, like from the gaming standpoint? Um, do you actually are you able to capture this across a breadth of other industries and vertical applications?
Absolutely. And in fact, we have content from all of those different schemes that you discussed uh, actually in our data set. So that content is represented in our data set, and we're using the latest technology in machine learning, AI, neural networks to be able to make these predictions of what the subjective quality score would be in each of these contexts.
Great. Coming to my almost like my last question, but
Right.
also something that is super interesting or important to like understand what is next for data science and for you and your team at Headspin.
Yeah, that's great. Great question. So my team is continually working on bringing on new data sources, new insights, and in working toward making this root cause analysis of identifying performance issues and what are the root causes of those. And so we're always making progress on that. One area that we're particularly excited about is actually in providing additional flexibility on how users can provide feedback on the predictions that we make. And so currently we allow users to provide feedback, and that gets surfaced to us automatically. We're able to take action based on that feedback. Uh, but in the future, we'll be able to improve our automation in the handling of that feedback, improve the customization of the analyses that we provide, and make our platform more useful to customers uh, based on their use cases.
How do customers provide feedback today?
Yeah, so customers can provide feedback using our APIs or directly in the UI. So they can click and drag on the timeline of our waterfall UI and provide feedback directly.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for your time. I have learned so much, and I hope everybody else who's listening and watching have also understood and learned a lot as well. It's great to see the kind of innovation and strides that we're making at Headspin, and it's great to see that you're at the kind of the driver's seat in terms of like the innovation that we're seeing as well, and our customers are getting to enjoy. Thank you so much for your time, Brian, and hope you have a great week and rest of the day. Thank you for joining us at Headspin Corner.
Thank you, Jeena. It was my pleasure.
Bye bye.